The COVID-19 pandemic has ushered the education sector into a study year like no other. University campuses are largely empty as international students are enduring the effects of the global health crisis that is hindering them from traveling abroad. The total international students at higher education institutions in the U.S. dipped by 16% in fall 2020 and left the overall enrollment of new international students down by 43% in the same period. This decline has been driven by an 87% drop in visas granted to international students last year, mostly from China, which is the largest source of international students in the U.S., providing more than half at University of California and University of Southern California. Amid this crisis, students from Brazil, Iran, and South Africa are allowed to travel to the U.S., but this is not the case with China. Borders remain closed because of the COVID-19 travel restrictions. Tsinghua University, a top-ranking university in China and globally, has implemented the hybrid learning model for its students and professors in response to the air travel bans curtailing global movement. The implementation of the hybrid learning model has left students conflicted, especially those from the Master of Science dual degree in Communication Data Science program hosted by the Tsinghua University and University of Southern California. The Tsinghua-USC students are completing their first year of study in China and are supposed to travel to the U.S. for their second year. The regulations on traveling from their home country to the U.S. is fueling uncertainties on the issue of studying abroad amid pandemic.
In 2019, it's totally before the pandemic, so I didn't expect the hybrid learning for the whole year.
Students need to have the class at a very late time. It's 9 p.m. in our Beijing time, so maybe they are very tired.
Study burden at USC may be much heavier, especially under the pandemic. So there are many challenges ahead of us. Just worries and anxieties go around me every day.
Not only had the pandemic put an emotional strain on the students, but it has left them to navigate unending questions regarding the application processes for traveling abroad.
We have met many small practical questions while we are applying for future study because all students or all faculties may not expect this kind of question before.
These conflicting sentiments resonate with Justin, a first-year Master of Arts in Global Business Journalism.
This is my third semester online at Tsinghua, so last year, the final semester of my language program was also online for Tsinghua. I came back to Canada in February of 2020 just because it was the Chinese New Year holiday, so I came back to visit my family. And that's when COVID really took off and China closed. So now, I think online classes offered me like a lot of flexibility to sort of like a different interesting experience here in Canada. So like, for example, I moved to Quebec, which is a different province from where I'm from. And I've been here for maybe 6 weeks now, just trying to like use the online flexibility to the best.
While the other students have found themselves in difficult situations, others like Nguyen Tran Bao Ngoc from Vietnam have remained immune to the impact of the pandemic on traveling. She traveled to Sweden last year in August and is a first-year master's student at Lund University, majoring in strategic communications.
But yeah, after October, everything closed. Every activity in my study turned online, and I have to say that it is a big challenge. So I have to admit that there is so many things I couldn't experience with in this situation. But maybe because of that, I can have time to focus on myself a little bit. I like living alone in a strange place. You have to take care of yourself, learn to take care of yourself.
I have prepared myself psychologically ahead of time.
In Tsinghua, we often have some class meeting given by, our teacher like Chengzhang, Professor Zhang Zheng, and Professor Han Yi, and so on.
We admitted 10 students last year. Students will benefit from the collaborations and integrations of high-quality teaching resources and the academic advantages of Tsinghua and USC.
They care much about our safety, and we feel very warm. We just like a family with the teachers.
If there's any chance I can experience a different life and study, I will do that. I will definitely do that.